Hello, my name is Rolando Quintana, and today I'll be talking to you about a common controversy within the handgun community today. That is, what is the supreme handgun caliber for the everyday user? Now, why does this topic matter in the first place? Well, it matters because people carry in order to save lives, and in the heat of the moment, the very best needs to be applied to a difficult situation in order to mitigate as much risk as possible and bring about the optimal outcome. The caliber that I will be arguing in favor of today is the 9mm bullet. However, there is one contender that many hold to be above the 9mm bullet, that is the 45 ACP. My objective today, however, is to convince you, the listener, that the 9mm bullet is the best option to use for yourself and for your loved ones. There are three reasons why I maintain this opinion to be true. The first is that the difference between the two calibers is essentially negligible. The second is that rounds win gunfights, and the third is that price point determines how much a person can shoot. Now, jumping straight into that first reason, I do want to clarify that by negligible, the differences being negligible, I don't mean that there's no difference between the two bullets at all. What I do mean is that the ballistic differences, i.e., the velocity and knockdown power carried by the 45 ACP, does not determine a performance difference in a real-world scenario. The reason why I point this out is because the 45 ACP is, factually speaking, a harder hitting bullet and a faster traveling bullet, and many users will point to this as a trump card against the 9mm bullet. However, in an experiment performed by Garand Thumb titled 9mm versus 45 ACP, We End the Debate, the group put together a human torso test in which the two calibers were fired at both ballistic gels, and the outcome was essentially negligible. So in a real-world scenario, the knockdown power and the velocity does not play a large factor in the effectiveness of the bullet. This in fact ties into the second point that I will look to make today, which is that rounds win gunfights. According to the USCCA, in a perfect scenario, 3 bullets are fired within 3 seconds of a gunfight. However, a gunfight may last much longer than just 3 seconds, and more bullets will be needed. The 9mm bullet is a smaller caliber, and therefore a gun of this caliber can hold more within a single magazine. This is important because, as previously stated, more bullets than 3 essentially may be required in order to neutralize a situation, whereas the 45 ACP, being a larger caliber, cannot have as many contained within a single magazine. Second to this, 9mm bullets create less recoil. This is due to the fact that they, as stated before within the ballistic terminology, have less knockdown power and slower velocity. Therefore, once fired, they do not kick back as hard on the user of the firearm. And this, once again, is also important because if there's less recoil, an individual can aim faster and therefore fire off more rounds. The final point that I will make today is that price point determines how much a person can shoot. Throughout the past 10 years, there has been a large increase in the price of bullets altogether. However, it has been shown that over the course of the past 10 years, the 9mm bullets have increased at a slower rate and are always typically cheaper than the 45 ACP. All three of these reasons combined, I believe that the 9mm bullet is the optimal bullet for the everyday person to carry. Whether you carry concealed on your person throughout your day, or you just love to take a trip out to the range to fire off a few rounds. Going from price point to real-world applicability, the 9mm bullet takes the cake for me. Thank you.